All right, so thanks for hanging with me here a little bit longer. Hopefully you can stick around. If you have to get going, that's fine. We have two more tips, and we're going to wrap up here pretty quick though, and definitely try to get to your questions and have a conversation. But after you've done all of this, now is the time to hopefully consider renewable energy. And maybe you don't want to consider it just yet because of costs or other limitations. But that's where we believe every home now can be a solar-ready home, so it's geared up to do that. Now, the EPA DOE has a great solar-ready checklist. Basically, what it's looking at is making sure that the home is pre-wired for solar, having conduit potentially running up, or a space outside to put ground-mounted solar, and then having the electric box being right size so it doesn't need to be fixed. Basically, so nothing has to be done other than just plug and play with the solar. You can see this house here, an all-electric home in Michigan, was built just like that, solar ready. And actually, in fact, now, if you were to go by today on the south end, you would see that entire south facing nearly covered in solar energy. Just was, again, once the homeowner had the financing to put it in, they plugged it in. This is one, this is Matheson near zero energy home in Michigan as well. And you can see there on the bottom, they put in a little bit 5 kW of solar, and then they're going to evaluate their energy usage with their family for a couple of years, and then put the rest of the size system on the other side of the house to help get it down to net zero. So you can check out the solar ready aspects on our website too. We did a whole session with Sam Rashkin from the DOE on what a zero energy ready home entails. And like I said, if you don't want to put solar up on the house, solar can be used down on the ground. That's a great way to brush snow off of it, keep it tilted in the right direction to maximize energy efficiency gain. This project up in Minnesota we call a powerhouse. It's almost 20 kW of solar, and they're using it entirely to live essentially a super low carbon life, including their own cars. They have 2 Teslas, electric leaf blowers, electric lawnmowers. This thing powers their entire life up there, so we're hoping to see more projects like that. And then integrated roofing solar, whether it be solar shingles or integrated on a metal roof. This is a great way to have better aesthetics. It could potentially be built right into the roof so that you can get the 20% or so tax credit, 26 right now, tax credit for the roof as well. And a lot of times homeowners associations or certain cities don't like the look of solar. So if you have it integrated right into the roof and it's a seamless design, it's an easier way to do it. Now, the other thing to consider is an interplay between batteries and solar to get to low carbon. What batteries can do is they can generate it during the day, and then they can be used during the night to reduce grid carbon and grid demand. And also, if your power goes out, especially if you're on a well, you might lose water. So if you have a frequent grid outages, battery can in some ways be more valuable than a lot of solar because it can still continue to give you some kind of backup emergency support or heating or water, if you will. This is a very crude drawing, but this is sort of flattening the curve, as they say, for grid demand in the summer. So you can just see at nighttime, you're using that battery energy to reduce carbon. You're not pulling from the grid. Our grid here collapsed, but hopefully, if you wouldn't be using any grid energy here, because as the solar comes out, the battery goes down, on and on and on. Now, as it gets into the winter time, and especially up here in the cold weather climates, you'll see you're going to rely more on that grid in the orange there. There's just nothing you can do about that. And that's where, you're still going to be, why we say low carbon, because you're still going to be pulling carbon, off of the grid at that time during the winter. It's pretty much, unavoidable, even if you had a lot of solar on. So really cool. This whole sort of solar battery interplay is being played out in Utah, right, or Nevada. On multifamily projects, we have a whole course on that on our website too, and I think it can be inspiring for all sorts of project types.